This is the Spiritual Tea Report, Nature Boy to Entity, Spiritual Face Reading, the Progression Part 2. If you haven't watched Part 1, you should go back and watch it. You can watch it on TikTok or YouTube. I went over him from youth, when he was younger as a teenager, and we're moving on to some of his younger years, and then we're going to get into when he starts building carbonation, because Nature Boy, without a doubt, his face shows he did a lot of those things. He created a lot of trauma and pain for others that were around him. But there's also a thing with him, is that you become what was preying on you. And from what I know of, he went through a great deal as a young child and as a teenager, and this behavior has continued and went on through his adulthood. But I'll be breaking down his face to show you exactly when the entity is present. And usually you can get attachments from things that you don't see when you do these type of acts, sexual acts. You can bring an entity within yourself. So let's get into this and continue on with part 2. So the head is a bit in the way, so we can't read the full face, but we do know there's a change. There's a change in the eyes. He right now is more shorter with his words, but he's still very bold. A bit more calmness, not as emotional, but he's still emotional. You still see he has some passion, and he's crying and doing all of that. You see the ears even looking lower in this picture than the other picture that we've seen. You see the ears sitting a little bit lower from his perspective line, so he's still not the greatest listener. The eyes are still very small, but they have a sincereness in them right now. He's willing to give love more, so he's giving out love more. So there may be somebody that he was in love with. You definitely see a little bit of a softer eye in this picture. I believe this is another mugshot of Nature Boy, and we see the faces looking a bit more fuller. Still the choppy speech, shorter with his words, not wanting to talk as much. His eyes are doing two different things. Slightly emotional, but more highly critical. He's really critical, and he's lying a great deal. So he'll lie right in your face because he's still plotting and planning on you. But now he's trying to disguise it more. We call this the poker face. And then he's still giving out love. The ears are a little bit more leveled higher. He's doing some thinking. You see, he's using his critical thinking skills right here. But yeah, we understand why this is more than likely a mugshot, because he's still in that plotting on you, but smiling in your face type of deal. I believe in this picture, this is the beginning of him being out of the country and gathering people to, Costa Rica. And I will honestly say he has that fracture. You see, he's a bit off where the eyes are doing two different things. But this is probably the most sincere and healthiest spiritually reading his face that I can say out of all the pictures. Is that there was some type of sincerity. He's coming down more in his emotions. You see now the brows have a tail. He's naturally aggressive. It's going to be there. But this is a more softer aggression, not too emotional, not overthinking, ears at a good level, and he's giving and receiving love. So this is Nature Boy actually at his best, in his best spirit, just by reading his face. So here we are seeing a difference. We're seeing a difference in Nature Boy's face for sure. We see what we call above the brow is called an eagle brow. So when you get the eagle brow, you're really, really, I see this in a lot of Hotep men who overthinking, overdoing it, just doing the most because they're using just extra amount of thinking, all in their head, all in their ego. And this is called the eagle brow. So it's sometimes you can see it in men in sports because they're always thinking because they're playing a game. But with him, he's playing a game in life and he's really overthinking. The eyes are off. One in the offness, which we would say is a soul fracture that has never healed, because what we do know about Nature Boy is that he was fractured at a young age, doing sexual acts. So we're seeing this starting to show on the face. A lot of times we go on this spiritual journey and we think that we will just be light. But there's also darkness. There's also shadow work. There's also things within yourself that you had to deal with. And Nature Boy came in good. He definitely came in starting to want to changing the diet and everything. But then there was the ego. And this is where we see the ego taking over. Very highly emotional, crying a great deal. And you start to see this fracture forming. Still wanting to give love. And of course the ears are sitting low. But he's getting rough. He's getting rough in his emotions. And those peaks are getting more aggressive. Where it's not even ladder aggression anymore. It's like boom. He's popping out. And he's in his full ego right here. So as he gets rough, Nature Boy gets rough, he gets rougher, and you see it in his face. So he's highly critical. The eyes are still off. One open big eye, then the little eye that's always plotting and planning in the background. He's making a face, but he's definitely getting rougher. You see the eyebrows are losing its tail, and you see that elevation. Very, very quick-witted. You think about Prince, think about Michael Jackson. Very quick-witted. The clapback king is back, and he's very bold. I'm not for sure where Nature Boy is right here, but as we can see, the entity has presented itself. You see, he looks almost devilish. You see that? The eyes are very acute, zeroing in. He's still lying a great deal. Both sides of the left brain, right brain activity are true liars right here. You see the ears actually coming up. And it's almost like he has what we call fairy ears, where he is, fixing things, knowing how to make things better for him. And this is an entity right here, and you can see it in the face. The brow, the eagle brow is in full formation. He's a full character here. It's undeniable. And he's becoming more of a receiver. He wants to receive the love. He wants to have that control. And somebody's eyes that are that tiny is zeroing in and definitely directing the show. The Spiritual Tea Report, Nature Boy to Entity, Spiritual Face Reading the Progression, Part 3, coming soon.